So we are looking at functions. We were looking at function which adds two numbers, my fun, and we have seen arguments getting passed into the function, and we were making some modifications. We have seen the output of the program as well. It is returning 300 when we are passing 200 and 100 as input. So function has inputs and outputs. Some functions, like the function we did in the very beginning, doesn't have any input and output. So it is optional, but normally they have input and output. So we have also seen the reuse of functions. When the function called again and again, it executed the same piece of code. Now what we are going to do is we are going to use the same program to understand the flow of execution. We are going to put a couple of breakpoints and see how the breakpoints are hitting, how the execution flow works. We already have an idea, but we will get a better hang of it. So this is the same program we were writing. Let's see the output once again. So we got this output. We are printing before function, then the result, and after function. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to put breakpoints like we did before. We are going to freeze the execution of the program. I'm going to put a breakpoint in line number 3 so that I can freeze the program there. So I put a breakpoint there. As you can see, the red dot right here. All I did was clicking there when the icon changed to the hand icon. As you can see, it's a hand icon right there. Now I'm going to put another breakpoint here. I'm going to click. So there is another breakpoint there. Now I'm expecting this breakpoint to be hit first. Let's see that is exactly what happened. This breakpoint hit first, which means that the code execution is yet to reach here. This breakpoint didn't hit, which is expected because we know now that the function will execute only when we call that function right here. So again, we can have a look at different variables right here. I'm going to use F10 step over right here, this particular button. Remember, all these things will come only when you start debugging. As you can see here, all this will come only when you start debugging. I'm going to press F10 to execute the next line. I got X, which has 100 inside it, Y 200. Now if I press step over, what will happen is it'll try to execute this function. But in that function, I have another breakpoint, so that breakpoint will hit. So I try to execute the function has a breakpoint, so the execution came here. There is another way to do it. I will show you shortly as well when we discuss about step into etc. But for the time being, the execution is right here. Now what we can do is we can look at the variables. The X and Y is gone. In fact, X and Y is still there in the program, but it is not in scope. We will discuss scope shortly. Let me put X here and let me put Y here. So they are still there in the program and they're active, usable, but right now we are in the context of this function and we have A and B. Now this is yet to execute. C is not created. Let's do that. We have seen this line in the previous sessions when we studied operations. So we got 300, which is assigned to C. C is 300. And now we are going to return. Return means that end the function and return. So we'll discuss return or control flow detail later. But for the time being, we are ending the function and returning the output. So that is what line number 4 does. Where is the output is returned to? Here, line number 10. So that's where the output gonna come. So again, step over, F10, and there is result has come up with 300. Now if you look at A and B is gone. I'll tell you why A and B is gone. We'll get into the scope part later. Don't worry about it right now. Just I want to tell you that A and B is gone. It's not available to you anymore. It got cleaned up. It got destroyed. This variables got destroyed. Let's not worry about it right now. As I mentioned, now what we are doing, we are printing the result right here. So we passed an input to the function and we got the output here, and we have printed the output. One thing I'd like to show you is, let me stop debugging. I can use the function without a variable. For example, new result. Another variable is here to capture the output. My sum equal to 30, 40. Like so, I can do that. Now again, I'm going to print new result. Let's execute the program. Let me remove the breakpoint. You might have already predicted the result. Let's see if that is the case. No surprise, we are getting 70. 70 is nothing but the sum of 30 and 40. Only difference this time is we were not using any variable. Probably I should have shown you this in the beginning. This looks simpler to me, but no big difference. In this case, I have used a variable. In this case, I have just used the numbers directly. But otherwise, the execution is going to be exactly same, no difference. If you want to put breakpoint, you can put breakpoint and check like I did before. No difference whatsoever. So one thing you need to notice here is a space here, the optional. So I can remove this if I want. All the spaces I can remove. This space I can remove. All those stuffs you need to play around to see how the syntax works. Normally I don't write it like this. I put some spaces just for readability, especially here. It's up to you, personal preferences, etc. But one thing we need to notice is the comma here and the bracket here and here. We can't miss that. Then there'll be problems. If you miss that, there'll be problems. Even if you delete this, there'll be problems. And again, the comma we can't miss. The comma in between, if you miss that, there'll be so many other issues. So right now we can see that the function is already used 2 times. The summation function right here has been reused. Line number 10 and 13. It is executing the same piece of code. Now let's try to pass some strings into it. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to copy these 2 lines, Control C and Control V, new string result. Let's put it string right here. We didn't have to change the name of the variable just for the sake of it. I'm going to make this thing strings. So before that it was a number literal. Now this is a string literal. So all these things are different. Although they looks similar, but they are different. Now, can you predict the output? Let's see that. Now the output is so weird and different. It is giving 30, 40. You were expecting that? Probably not. So when you give strings, Python is becoming smarter. Python knows that string is to be added in a different way. But sometimes it's useful. For example, this is a sample. Now, if you add that, you'll get a proper sentence. This is a sample. That's what I was thinking. So now it makes a little more sense. The previous result also was correct, even though it was not making any sense. Now what is happening? So let's put a breakpoint in here to see how this operator works in case of string. So we'll see that in detail later, but let's have a quick look. So this is the first execution. In this case, it'll be the 100, 200. You can look here, the value of A and B, 100 and 200. Now I'm going to continue. So this is another button we have here. Continue means that execute the program till the next breakpoint. So we'll have a debugging session coming up. Probably I'll repeat all these things again. If I press the F10, it'll execute the return, and that's not what we really want. We want to look at the execution of line number 16. That's a goal of this particular debugging we are doing. So I'm not interested in this. We know that is going to come next. So I'm going to continue till the next breakpoint. So the code is going to come all the way here and then come back here like so. Again, I hit the next breakpoint. So all this print happened just now, and 30, 40, which is this, not unexpected. Now the next one is interesting to us. Now in the case A equal to this is A and B equal to sample. Now when you add 2 strings or the plus operator in Python, this is very specific to Python. If you do that in C++ or C, you may get serious issues. So Python is very smart that way. That's why Python is a very intuitive language. A lot of languages, you can't do what we are doing right here. So we have two strings, A and B. And when you do this operation, the plus operator is concatenating the strings. So this is called string concatenation. So it is adding the string and making it into one string. So that is the operation it is doing. And no surprise, it is assigning the result to C. So the plus operator is doing something different in the case of string. As you can see here, it has added or concatenated the string like this and put it into C. And it's all coming down here because of this assignment operator, and we are printing the result. So that is a short summary of functions. We'll see one more other example of function, because function is a very important topic. We have seen how the arguments are passed, and we have seen the polymorphic behavior of plus operator. The plus operator did totally different things for numbers as well as strings. Two different types of data or literals we passed into the function, same function, but gave us different types of results. This is very common in programming. You will see this a lot again. And we have did some debugging with the functions as well. We have put breakpoints inside the function. Also, we have used F5 or continue. It is called continue. So continue means execute till next breakpoint. If there is no breakpoint, the program will continue till the end of the execution. So that is also something we have seen.